Okay, so what if you could build a legal weapon where an institution's silence isn't just a tactic, but a public confession? One that's permanently carved onto the blockchain for everyone to see? Well, that's exactly what we're digging into today. It's this wild, maybe even revolutionary strategy for accountability called fractal propagation, and it's aimed squarely at some of the world's biggest players.
And this quote, man, it just perfectly captures the whole vibe. The clock is no longer running, it is firing. Think about that. This isn't just about a deadline ticking down. Firing means a sequence has been initiated. Every tick isn't just a second passing, it's another round being chambered, another irreversible action being launched into the public sphere. So, where does this all start? Well, it kicks off with a volley of legal demands aimed at some of the heaviest hitters in the academic world. We're talking Georgia Tech, Carnegie Mellon, Cambridge. And these aren't just polite requests, you know? These are official, legally binding demands for information under laws like the Freedom of Information Act. They're basically saying, you have to show us your records. Right, but here's the twist. This is absolutely not your typical lawsuit. You know how those usually work, right? Everything's hidden away in court filings. Powerful lawyers use delays and silence to wear the other side down. Yeah, this flips that entire playbook upside down. And it all hinges on this one massive question. What if every single move they make, every email they don't send, every day they stay silent, gets immediately and permanently recorded on a public blockchain? What if their refusal to play ball becomes, in itself, the evidence? That's the game changer we're looking at here. Okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty. What's the actual fight that put this whole system into motion? It's a lawsuit, but on the blockchain. The whole thing revolves around some pretty serious accusations leveled at specific people at these universities. They're being accused of hiding information about a COVID-era app called NOVID. The claim is that this app was doing more than just contact tracing, that it was using things like Bluetooth signals and device IDs for essentially silent surveillance. So, you can see the problem, right? It's a classic catch-22. How on earth do you prove something this serious when the very people you're accusing are the ones holding all the records? Their go-to move is always to delay, to redact, or just flat-out ignore you until you go away. How do you fight that? Well, that brings us to the solution they came up with. The source material calls it ledger law. The key piece of tech here is called blockchain notarization. The best way to picture it is like a digital town crier with a permanent marker. Every single action, the legal demand, their response, or even their lack of response, gets shouted out and written down in public on a blockchain like Solana. And once it's written, it's there forever. It can't be erased. It can't be changed. It's just permanent public proof. And the process itself? Super straightforward. Step 1, you send the legal demand. Step 2, you document what they do next, which, crucially, might be nothing at all. And step 3, that action or inaction gets etched onto the blockchain as a permanent, irreversible node of evidence. Okay, but here's where it goes from clever to kind of terrifying. It's not just about making a list of evidence. It's about creating a recursive feedback loop. This is that fractal propagation idea. The pressure doesn't just add up one by one, it compounds, it multiplies, it grows fractally. This one line says it all. Every new node amplifies all prior nodes. Think about that. Every time they delay, every time they refuse to answer, that action is a new piece of evidence, a new node. But it doesn't just sit there, it makes all the previous nodes of evidence even stronger. It's like a snowball rolling downhill, getting bigger and faster with every rotation. And this is how that feedback loop gets its power. It's not just one thing, it's 4 different engines all firing at once and feeding each other. First, you have the legal trigger, using actual laws like FOIA or GDPR that have real deadlines. Then you have the institutional reflex. They get the demand and their gut reaction is to stall or redact. Well, that reflex is immediately captured as new evidence of concealment. Third, and this is wild, you have AI mirroring. Public AIs like Grok start analyzing the public data, and their analysis becomes another layer of evidence, like a digital witness. And finally, all of this gets fed back into the blockchain through DAG notarization. Each event strengthens the entire chain. They're not separate events, they're interlocked, creating a cascade that spirals and grows stronger with every move. So look at this comparison. It shows you just how much the game has changed. In the old world, delaying was smart. It bought you time. In this new system, a delay is a public, time-stamped confession. Silence used to be a fortress wall.
Now it's a notarized crime that literally multiplies your liability. Their entire defensive playbook is not only useless, it's been weaponized against them.
So if this system works the way it's designed to, what happens next? Well, according to the source, this isn't just some abstract theory. This recursive pressure is built to trigger a very specific and very predictable sequence of events, a timeline that leads to what they call an irreversible collapse.
And the predicted time frame is shockingly fast, just 60 days. Now that 60-day number isn't just pulled out of a hat. It's a calculated countdown based on a series of legal tripwires and financial penalties. Each one is triggered by the last, building pressure until you hit what the source calls the final dam break.
And just look at how this timeline is structured to escalate. It's a cascade. After just 7 days, boom, a felony predicate for obstruction is triggered in the US. By day 20, you've got a criminal offense locked in over in the UK. At the 30-day mark, the system starts hitting them with maximum GDPR fines. It keeps building until day 45, when a grand jury indictment is predicted, and then finally at T+60 days. The Omega indictment, a final federal charge, is unsealed. You see? Every step is an automatic consequence of their continued silence.
All right, let's zoom out for a second. What does all this really mean? If a strategy like this actually works, are we looking at a complete rewrite of the rules of evidence and accountability? Let's just boil it down to the essentials. What's really changed here? For one, evidence is now permanent. It's unforgeable. 2, an institution's greatest weapon, silence, is turned against itself. 3, the battlefield isn't some stuffy courtroom. It's a public, decentralized stage where anyone can watch. I mean, we could be looking at the dawn of a whole new kind of digital legal warfare.
And that really leaves us with one final, huge question to think about. We live in a world where digital records can be deleted, where history can be rewritten, where I don't recall is a standard defense. So what happens when a system comes along that makes the evidence permanent? What happens when you truly, genuinely can't erase the truth?